their chemo treatments.
That's incredible. ENF.org. Get involved. Turning Loss into Love. Amelia Norris Foundation.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.
The San Diego Union Tribune and Retirement Strategies Group present the Union Tribune Community Spotlight Show with your host, Drew Schlossberg.
I'm Drew Schlossberg of the San Diego Union Tribune, and we are back with Nancy Sasaki. She's the president and CEO, United Way of San Diego County, joined by Rebekah Hookeld. She is the Chief Public Affairs and Civic Engagement Officer for the San Diego LGBT Community Center, and also in the studio with us, Maggie Ramsberger, Chief Agency Operations Integrative Services Division for the County San Diego Health and Human Services, and chatting about the importance of filling out the census and making sure everybody is counted, and that's everybody with a capital E on this. But Maggie, equally important is the Earned Income Tax Credit Coalition. Talk about that.
Well, the Earned Income Tax Credit Coalition is a really wonderful group of over 20 organizations here throughout the region who come together every year to support outreach and access to EITC, which is a tax refund for low to moderate income workers. And so we're proud to partner with the United Way as the leadership team for the Earned Income Tax Credit Coalition. We work every year to come up with a plan, how we can better outreach that to the community, and then work through our valuable community partners to make that happen. And they provide free tax assistance at centers during tax season, and that way people can go in, have reliable tax services free of charge.
And not only is it free of charge, it translates to a lot of money that goes to those households, correct? Absolutely. Last year we brought back, through the efforts of the coalition, over $47 million to the region, and of that was $15 million in earned income tax credit. That's great. Rebekah, talk about how that impacts you folks.
You know, the center, the LGBT Community Center is, has been the heart and cornerstone of the community for almost 50 years. What Nancy and I were talking about, they're celebrating their centennial. We're almost at 50 years.
Congratulations.
And so, as a health and human service agency, the largest LGBTQ provider, that's essential to our community members, to our families, and it makes all the difference, throughout the year. And, we're excited to continue to educate our community about how they can participate in the earned income tax credit.
And I'll ask all three of you this. San Diego isn't the most least expensive place to live. We all know that. And so these, tax credits are just so critical. And we all know how, some money goes a long way with families that, struggle to, we know the food insecurity issues that we're having here in this region. Our good friend Jim Floros comes on the show quite a bit to talk about these things. And it's really unfathomable. We just did a big story in the paper, and we had him actually on our radio show before the story broke, on food insecurity with college students. Like a huge number of college students go hungry. I think that blows away people that don't realize this. So it is absolutely equally so important for people to get this right and to do it right again. Before we get into the centennial celebration that Nancy is going to be chatting about in a few minutes here, is there a call for more census workers? Are we short? How does that work? Or do we have enough?
We're actually not doing census work, so to speak, in our coalition that we're doing. It's the outreach and education. Right. There will be other census workers that are hired by the federal government to actually do the count during that time, but they're also going to have that online. Right. So right now I don't think they need census workers until they get into next year when they're actually starting the count.
But is there a fear there's going to be a shortage of census workers? What do you think? Hard to say. We don't know. Has there ever been a problem?
I don't know that there's ever been a problem in the past to get that. And plus, they're going online, so they're going to hopefully have a broader reach because the census will be taken online for those that are able to access it. But you can also still do it by hand or by paper if you need to do it that way, too. It's a little bit of a couple more steps that you have to go through in order to get it by paper. Sure.
How long does it take to fill out the census?
Less than 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes. Okay. All right.
So it should be easy.
Should be easy. Right. Exactly. On this. Talk a bit about the centennial.
I'm so excited about that. The centennial is the diamond anniversary. I can't believe United Way has been in San Diego County since 1920. been looking back at a lot of the old documents and seeing what's been going on. And in 1920, when the community chest started, we raised $111,000 for our community, which in today's dollar, that equals $1.4 million. So that's quite an accomplishment to start out your first year and raise that kind of money, distribute it back out. And we've always worked in partnerships, and we've always addressed the community needs. So I'm excited to be celebrating our centennial each month. We are going to celebrate one of the decades. It will highlight in October on 10/10/2020 with our gala celebration, which I'm hoping will be on a diamond. Because
nice.
It's the diamond celebration.
Okay, very, very good. Here, we'll have to figure out what diamond that is on this. Is it already on the website so that people can see what's planned for January, February?
It will be coming on the website soon. It's not there yet.
Okay, so coming soon, all
yes.
right. And then to get engaged, same thing with the October 10 event as well?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good. And, that'll be a lot of fun over here. The Union Tribune has been a long supporter of the United Way, especially with the tradition with the Copley family and so forth down the road over here. I actually was the United Way chair here for the Union Tribune. To raise money, we actually had a Kissing the Pig contest. Oh, yeah. No, trust me. It wasn't until the pig bit me. It did.
Oh, no.
I was right there trying to scratch it, and we didn't like that. And then it bit me. But it's okay. The pig didn't know what he was doing over here. But no, in all seriousness.
But you still raised money for United Way in the community.
Of course we raised money. And awareness, which is equally important. 50 years for you folks, right, Rebekah?
Yeah, coming right around the corner. We're extraordinarily excited to have been in the community so long. Being such a cornerstone and leader of the service provider, and so we're excited to celebrate our 50.
Do you have stuff already planned? Is it on the website?
It is in the works. We are chomping at the bit to get excited or to get going on that. And so, we were chatting, or Nancy and I were chatting earlier, just how important these types of monumental celebrations are for our community and our respective organizations.
Well, it's all about information and sharing the right information. That we're in that business, of course, the Union Tribune Multimedia, a company in this. One of the things that sort of, disheartens us is when you hear from people, I'm sure in your businesses too, God, I wish I would have known about X. I mean, you fill in the topic over here, and that's why you got great agencies like Katina Daniels out there working to, get the word out as well and work in partnership here. But we all need to do that. We're in information overload. We know that. You get 14 billion messages. Isn't it? Which one is the right message to do it? And all three of your organizations, that's so important. We are chatting again with Nancy Sasaki. She's the president and CEO of United Way of San Diego County, joined by Rebekah Hookeld, Chief Public Affairs and Civic Engagement Officer for the San Diego LGBT Community Center, and Maggie Ramsberger, Chief Agency Operations Integrative Services for the County of San Diego Health and Human Services. So Maggie, what can our listeners do? I mean, people usually go, how can listeners help support a government agency? They can they not?
Well, absolutely. And, specific to supporting the work of the EITC Coalition, we're approaching tax season. One of our great partners in the coalition is 211 San Diego. That's
great.
And so folks...
John O'Haney.
Absolutely. Yeah. John and his team over there help us every year to get the word out and to help people schedule appointments and get information about how they can benefit from the work of the coalition. So folks who are interested can call 211. They can also go online to www.myfreetaxes.org and get more information about that. Great opportunity.
So how do we do as a region, Maggie, our county versus other ones that might look like us in terms of getting the tax credit information out and supporting groups like Rebekah's and so forth? We do a pretty good job.
I think we do a great job, but we can always do a better job.
Right.
So the more people that can get involved and help us with that, the better outcomes. We want to make sure that everybody who can access this important benefit does so. And so just like the census, we want to get the information out about EITC and other tax credits that people can access when they file their taxes next year.
Absolutely, Nancy.
Yeah, we're really excited about the work that we do with the EITC. We reached 33,000 households last year, or earlier in the tax year of this year. But we know that there's close to 200,000 households that could benefit. So we need to expand this type of work that we're doing. We work with 650 volunteers already through our 20 partners. But people that are making less than $55,000 a year don't realize they need to file their taxes. So we want to get this word out to them to come and it's free. We'll actually do this tax prep for you. We'll actually do all of the filing and everything. And then you learn right then and there how much money you'll get back from the earned income tax credits. And that can average somewhere around $2,000 per household.
Yeah, and we know how far that can go over there. I'm going to go around each person and just share your website in case our listeners want to get in, engage, and support everything that you are doing, whether it's the income tax credits or whether it's the centennials. And both of you, we'll start with you, Rebekah. What's your website?
Absolutely. You can find us at thecentersd.org.
Very, very good. Nancy?
uwsd.org.
Okay, and Maggie?
sdcounty.gov.
Well, I want to thank all you folks for coming in. You're doing understatement of the world here, just unbelievably important work for all of the folks who live in San Diego County, but especially those maybe underrepresented organizations. And we know it's so critical. We know when you give back to especially groups that may not have a voice or as strong a voice as they should, it comes back and helps you 15 times over. So Nancy and Rebekah and Maggie, thank you so much for giving some time to come on our show. And Nancy, we're going to talk more sports at our next show. Maybe we'll just do a sports show. Just
there you go. I'm up
unity.
For it.
All right, very, very good. Wishing you all a great weekend. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Drew Schlossberg of the San Diego Union Tribune. You've been listening to another episode of the Spotlight Show here on Broadcast Media Radio. We are brought to you by the Retirement Strategies Group.
Thank you for listening to a podcast from Cloudcast Media, the digital media home for leading local brands. When it comes to amplifying your brand, a Cloudcast-sponsored show offers unbeatable value. Learn more at cloudcast.us.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.
Welcome to Cloudcast 180, the 3-minute lightning round with changemakers here in San Diego. We're here with Ed Heiner, 20-year Navy SEAL, best-selling author, and education entrepreneur. Ed, welcome to the Cloudcast 180.
Thanks for having me.
Your book was called First Fast Fearless, so let's hit this fast and fearlessly. Real quick, you created a program to help change lives of high school students around the country. It's called SEALpreneurship. Tell our audience what it's all about.
Well, it's about leading yourself. Getting a PhD in me, I teach kids how to take care of themselves and lead themselves first, and how to be their own entrepreneur, intrapreneur, if you will.
Is it something you think public education is lacking, this concept of self-leadership?
Absolutely. It's a mindset that kids don't get. My son doesn't get it in his school. The kids don't get it. It's something that, we're educating them, but to be mentally tough and be able to take charge of themselves and accountable for themselves is very unique.
Okay. I've seen an overview of your curriculum, 23 evolutions, and you have a 23-minute podcast series. So what's up with 23?
Chromosomes, right? It's all in all of us. We're all the same. 99.9% of everybody in this world is the same. And we use those chromosomes, 23 pairs, which was one of the concepts we teach as swim buddies, never be alone. Mm-hmm. Always work with someone else, collaborate, and be out there.
Boy, that's a lesson for life for sure. Ed, you were in charge of basic and advanced training for the U.S. Navy SEALs, and I mentioned you're a 20-year SEAL. Tell our audience the greatest lesson from the SEALs that have changed you forever.
Probably in the back of a helicopter one night in Iraq before I was getting ready to fly into an Al-Qaeda target, it dawned on me that when a pilot said, you have this many souls on board, it dawned on me that the opposite of fear is love. It's not else. I don't fight for what I hate in front of me. I fight for what's beside me and behind me that I love.
Wow, it's a powerful concept. Wow. You've talked a lot about the blue-collar scholar as a concept. Fascinating. Tell our audience, what is the blue-collar scholar as it relates to your SEALpreneurship program?
It's a mental concept where people take control. Don't outsource their life. Look, we're going to have people that are in white coats, suits and ties, doctors, PhDs. That's fine. Listen to that and learn your information from them. But eventually, you got to be that mechanic in your own life. You got to turn the wrench. This is happening. So basically, take control of your own life. Use what you can use from other people. Discard it, what you can't, and make that your own. Leadership is something that you do. It's you do with people, not to them. And one of the best forms of leadership I learned in the back of that helicopter is called MOM.
Ed,
Focus on mission, others, me.
Mission, others, me. Ed, thank you for being here. This has been the Cloudcast 180. We hit it fast and fearlessly. We're out.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, Powerful stories, 180 seconds.